So, good morning and thank you for joining us. While Memorial Day is still a few days away, it's always the right time to reflect on the deep meaning behind the important day and the powerful symbols that come with it. Today, we'll be talking about one of the most poignant symbols of Memorial Day, the fallen soldier, and the fallen soldier table. The significance it holds not just on the holiday, but every day. You may have seen the fallen soldier table at various ceremonies and perhaps wondered about its powerful symbolism. This small, simple table tells the story of soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. It's a reminder of their courage, their selflessness, and the love that continues to live on in the hearts of their families and loved ones. So let's walk through the elements of the fallen soldier table and what one each represents. First of all, let's start with a small table. The table is in fact small and is standing alone, symbolizing the solitary nature of the fallen soldier. It's set apart to remind us that these brave individuals are no longer with us in this world. It's a reminder of the deep void left behind by their sacrifice. The white tablecloth that covers the table represents the innocence and purity of their service. Their commitment to cause was without personal gain. It was out of a sense of duty and love for their country. A red rose is placed on the table to symbolize love and sacrifice. This is for the families of loved ones of those who've fallen. It represents both the love that they shared with those soldiers and the grief that they carry every day. A slice of lemon on the plate represents the bitterness of the sacrifice. It's a symbol of the sorrow and the pain of losing a loved one in service to the country. This simple gesture brings the harsh reality of that loss into focus. Salt is sprinkled on the table to represent the tears shed by those who mourn the fallen. It's a reminder of the emotional weight carried by the families, the communities, and our nation as a whole. The Bible placed on the table represents faith, something that sustains many of our soldiers in their final moments. For some, it represents the strength they found in their beliefs as they faced the unknown. And for others, it's a source of comfort during their service. The empty chair, and then, of course, the most powerful symbol, the empty chair. This chair stands for the fallen soldier who will never again sit with us, laugh with us, or share a meal with us. It's a silent tribute to those who gave everything, a reminder of the sacrifice that makes our freedom possible. The fallen soldier table is not just a decoration, it's a meaningful symbol of what Memorial Day is all about. It's a way to remember the soldiers who are no longer here and to honor the deep and profound sacrifices they've made for our freedom. While Memorial Day is the official time for us to come together and honor these heroes, it's important to carry these remembrances with us every day. The freedoms we enjoy, the ability to speak freely, and the worship we choose, and to live without fear are the result of their bravery. It's a debt we can never truly repay, but we can honor it by living in a way that reflects the freedoms that they fought to protect. So today and every day, let's take a moment to honor the fallen. Let's remember their sacrifice and the incredible love they had for our country. The fallen soldier table is a reminder of that sacrifice, but it's up to us to carry that remembrance forward. It's not just about the table or the symbols. It's about the living lives worthy of their sacrifice. To all the families who have lost someone in service to our country, we stand with you. We remember and we honor your loved ones. Thank you for tuning in today. We've got a lot more luggage to unpack. Let's get going. That's good stuff to talk about.
These are some of the things that were in those emails from Hillary Clinton and from John Podesta. Quote, I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza/dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we are using the same channels? Just think about $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs. Does that fit on a plane? Or are they talking about something else? Because then in another email, and these are verbatim quotes from these emails, quote, we plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve Luzzatto, 11, 9, and almost 7, because it's really important you know that they're young children. So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure.
A federal judge in Boston who knew absolutely nothing about the situation or anything else has ordered that 8 of the most violent criminals on earth curtail their journey to South Sudan and instead remain in Djibouti. He would not allow these monsters to proceed to their final destination. This is not the premise under which I was elected president, to which I was protect our nation. Donald Trump speaking here. The judges are absolutely out of control. They're hurting our country and know nothing about particular situations or what they're doing. This must change immediately. Hopefully, the Supreme Court of the United States will put an end to the quagmire that has been caused by the radical left. If this has not worked out quickly and the world is watching, our country will be under siege again with hundreds of thousands of hardened criminals breaking down the walls. We were also forced to leave behind, in order to watch these hardened thugs, a large number of ICE officers who would otherwise have been in the United States protecting our citizens. All federal judges blocking the constitutional orders from within the United States Republic. Are you ready to be arrested in tribunal on the charges of treason? It is futile to continue working for the deep state that has controlled this country for generations. Your time is up. Your Royal Crown maritime days under the British monarchy are over. Your infiltration will discontinue, and we will raise our flag up once again. Learn the identities of the autopen coup leaders who stole the presidency from Joe Biden after he stole it from Trump. Roger Stone reveals a secret committee led by Barack Obama that has illegally ruled America for the past 4 years. Ed Martin says a whistleblower has exposed Biden's auto pen pardon scandal. The same machine's signed signature appears on pardons for Fauci and Milley. Insiders named Klain, Dunn, Bauer, Ricchetti, and Jill Biden, some lawyering up. Comer calls it the biggest scandal in U.S. history. Trump calls it treason.
Now, knowing what you know, is this an open legal challenge now that this guy didn't even know when he was vice president, according to those Her tapes?
I think it is. You know, auto pens usually require initial or signature approval from at least 5 people before you can actually approve the auto pen. For example, the attorneys need to approve it, policymakers need to approve it. It needs to be approved, then ultimately the president needs to approve it, and then the person is allowed to use the auto pen. We've found out.
Okay, you heard that, right?
Yeah.
I think a few months ago, President Trump came out and said, there are no records. None of those signatures occurred. We don't know who used the auto pen. We don't know how any of that came about. So I completely agree with the president that this is a problem, and there's only one way to test it. The way you test it is by indicting someone with one of those pardons and see if it holds up.
Breaking: over 12 sitting U.S. senators now under criminal investigation for foreign lobbying kickbacks. Should they be forced to resign immediately? Absolutely. Yes.
And Nancy Pelosi has a little problem because her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa. It was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that. Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that.
This was an officially cleared, congressional trip, cleared on a bipartisan basis. Yes, like every other trip.
Ah, interesting, huh? Paid for like every other trip. What, are you going to go have cocktails with MS-13 gang leaders? Is that what our tax dollars are supposed to do? So deer in the headlights look? Oh no, AOC looked like she wanted to strangle Anderson Cooper when he wouldn't stop asking her about the legal troubles of 2 of her 5 siblings. Her younger sister, Fiona, is accused of setting fire to a Tesla dealership and could face 20 years in prison. Her older brother, Matty, was busted smuggling fentanyl across Lake Superior. If she didn't want to talk about it, she probably should have stayed out of the newsroom. Representative Jamie Raskin took $165,000 in student debt relief for his daughter, Jolie. He's worth $14 million, worth a lot more than that. People have been tricked into thinking it's complicated to destroy the deep state when all it actually is taking is ending the Fed and the IRS.
This is going to blow your mind.
What we have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of a search warrant or even without any specific claim that they have committed a crime. So this was something that was discovered by an undercover journalist, and what they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. This person also indicated that they've been working with the Department of Justice and that they have absolutely no problem whatsoever going after the little guy to make sure that they are paying their taxes. This is such a blatant violation of the Fourth Amendment that Jim Jordan and I sent a letter to the IRS demanding that they provide additional information about what they are doing with AI and what they are doing to protect the civil rights of American citizens.
You know, Mission Impossible is known for, especially when Tom Cruise takes off that mask. Is there any kind of technology that achieves that in the real world of intelligence?
Well, the movies have a lot of options that real life does not offer to you. But the idea of a mask that you could quickly put on, quickly take off was very real, and something that we use with some discretion, but we used it when we needed it and got great results.
Did I read that you had a mask that made you look like an African-American man? Is that right?
That was probably the first one that I took public. That means within the CIA. I briefed some directors and told them we had this capability. We were looking to be able to change your gender and your ethnicity and even perhaps create a twin if we needed that.
Hold on. So, in your estimation, how lifelike realistic are the masks? If you were in the room with this person wearing the mask, would you notice that it's a mask?
You would not notice unless you told a really hysterical joke and the person couldn't laugh hysterically. It had limits. It could smile, couldn't laugh hysterically.
I know.
I wore those masks in a couple of pretty tight situations, and no one knew until I announced it.
Jonna, is it right that you wore that in front of George H.W. Bush, and could he tell?
I did wear it. Brent Scowcroft was in the room, Bob Gates, John Sununu, Judge Webster. Judge Webster knew because he was head of the CIA at the time. No one else had any idea until I took it off.
I had no idea.
So you did it just to show them that this was possible, is that right?
Absolutely. I wanted the president to see that we had taken disguise to a really dramatically new level.
Did you take one home as a souvenir? Are you in that? Is that you? Are you in there? Is that you in the mask?
This is just me. In the image, yeah, that's me.
What?
Taken off my head.
What?
And John Sununu had not been listening. He'd been working on his own notes. So he just glanced up when I did that, and he let out this funny little noise, like not a shriek, somewhere between a shriek and a squeak.
So full disclosure, on our call about today's show yesterday, I had to do kid pickup at the same time. I missed this briefing, and nothing has prepared me for what we're talking about right now. And this is really quite mind-blowing.
So I read that the mask had to be something you could put on in 10 seconds or take off, and you didn't need a mirror as well.
Wow.
But you could put it on in a parking garage without a mirror in the dark.
So Jonna,
Well, let's define a conspiracy theorist: a person that researches a subject and then uses logic, critical thinking, and skills to form an educated opinion instead of just blindly believing whatever they saw on TV.